Tendyman? Is that different to Is that like a different version of Wellerman? I can sing Tendy. I don't know what that is, but I can sing that. We're getting pretty close to 10,000 followers. This is absolutely insane. You guys are amazing. Soon may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our gains and go. Soon may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our gains and go. Soon may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our gains and go. There once was a stock that was put to sea, and the name of the stock was GME. The price blew up and the shorts dipped down. Oh, my bully boys hold. Soon may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our gains and go. One may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our gains and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when Ryan Cohen joined the board. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take his shares and hold. Soon may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our gains and go. Soon may the Tendyman come to send our rocket into the sun. One day when the trading is done, we'll take our gains and go. You guys.
That was a good one. All right, everybody. Hello, hello. All right, so let's see who's in here. All right, nobody's here right now. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna start the show anyway. All right, so today, well, before I go any further here, of course, we have our daily pro deal going on every single day. So go check it out. If you want to buy into this and all that stuff, yeah, just support the company, right? Now I think this thing is a very I kind of like this, right? Because it kind of encouraging people to go into the website every single day to check out the deals, and then you are seeing what's to come tomorrow. So I think this is again, this is a strategy for Gamestop to have, is to increase engagement, right? And of course, yes, you're going to be able to unlock a whole bunch of deals, to the tune of like half off or whatever. So hopefully, you get to enjoy all of these discounts if you like all these items right here. I mean, it's pretty cool. Right now you could get this at 50% off. It's a pretty good, if you are into that kind of stuff. I mean, it's pretty good keyboard. Cool little gamer keyboard right here. All right. Hey, Loppy, Ray, thank you so much for joining. Ryan, RC Ventures time. Yes. Yes, come on, grab a friend. Yes, let's go. Yeah, trading days today was, I don't know, I think the move was because of the Fed. They're not raising rate and all that stuff. We'll go over that in a minute. So, but before that, I was just showing people how GameStop have this daily pro deal that people could go and check it out to see when they're gonna get the deal or what they're gonna come up next, right? So it's kind of a teaser mode here. Of course, we're not gonna know what the item is until tomorrow, and so that's kind of like getting people to the store, to the website, right, to check it out. So I think that's a good strategy to have. And then, of course, there's so many deals currently that happens right there. You could get that $25 off when you buy $250 of stuff. Again, like the idea that those narrative that people are telling you, the mainstream media is saying that they're not, doing much to try to sell you stuff. That's BS, right? We all know that. So let's go to the price, huh? Because everybody's here because of the price action. It was a good trading day. If you want to trade this stock in and out, that's on you. Of course, I'm just looking at the level. I'm not, much of like a trader here in this stock. I have my long-term, short-term, and immediately terms portfolio. So of course I have my long-term portfolio for this one. I'm waiting for that big check to come in so that I could kind of maximize my Roth IRA. So that's about it. And so as long as it's staying in this price right here, I'm good. I'm tempted to kind of do a partial buy for the time being, but I know that some of this rally, immediately after the Fed speech a couple of days later, usually it's not going to stay for long. So just tame your excitement for a little bit here. I think that they're going to try to at least bring it down one last time before they bring it up again. But what I saw on X, I'll show you in a little bit here. Hi everybody, hi Miko. Shorts equals death. Yes. I'm trying to tame my excitement here. Of course, we know what's going on with the market today. If you guys have been tracking what the Fed are saying, today, it seems like they're trying to cut rates down. And from what I've studied so far, now again, not a financial advice here, it's just a sign of trouble to come, right? I know initially, of course, the media is going to pump it up as, rate is done, they're not going to hike anymore, we're going to the moon, right? Pump, until when the earnings come, people are like, there's a lot of layoff coming over the next year, right? And I think there's a lot of like cooking the book to make it appear like the inflation is actually lower than it is, right? Because they don't want to raise the rate anymore because it's gonna blow something up. Now, I don't know if you remember how the Fed was saying how, a couple months ago, before this meeting, he was saying there's going to be another hike next year. Now, they changed the tune, right? And so that's why the rally was here today. How long it's going to stay like this, I don't know. I'm taming my excitement. So don't go out and buy calls or whatever. Now, if you want to buy calls, that's on you. If you want to kind of like capture that gain, but if you want to support this company, of course, you want to buy shares. To me, they could kind of like manipulate the call option too, because if they could manipulate the price down, they could also manipulate the call option. Do you think the advancements of gaming accessory will affect GameStop? For instance, the haptic feedback glove and omnidirectional treadmill for VR. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, the gaming industry is here to stay. And I'm sure if GameStop if Ryan Cohen is as fanatic as he is with Chewy, I'm sure he's aware of all of those advancements. And we're going to be selling those left and right, whether it's a treadmill, whether it's a VR headset. We're going to be in the position to do that. And the fact that we have so much money on hand, we could, like, again, purchase any company that even, make those type of hardwares. I don't know who make those. Do you know, Ray? Like, what kind of brand name? What company make those type of hardwares? And I'm sure, technically we could buy the company that makes those hardware now. So, like, absolutely, this type of thing is going to make gaming is more part of the entertainment now. And it has been like that for a while. I think, even Brian Cohen said it in the letter to the board of director 3 years ago. Right, the gaming industry is like $200 billion, right, and growing. And I'm sure with all of this money printing, it's going to be a lot bigger, even, right? And so, of course, I don't know any brand. They are still in the early stage of development. Okay, yeah, or maybe we could develop our own Gamestop, brand, right? Hey, I could dream. But absolutely, yeah, I've heard of those. Haptic feedback is, I think there's a speaker that you could buy that you could strap on your chest. That's the one that I saw. But again, like, I don't know who made those. VR gloves are at least $1,000 each right now. Yeah, I mean, those are high ticket items now. Whether we all have the money to buy it or not, we don't know, because of all the inflation happens in the food and all that stuff. But yeah, absolutely, those. And I'm sure, GameStop going to position themselves very well to capture some of that market share. And we're hoping most of those market share, right, eventually in the years to come. But, currently, of course, people don't realize it yet that we are, we have that ability now. Like, even with all of these Fed fund rate or rate cut, rate hike, we don't care about that, because, like, as the company, we already have our own money. Because again, we could expand at a very low rate, so to speak. And if the Fed decided to go the other way, it still doesn't affect us, because we have $1 billion in the bank, or $1.2 billion in the bank. And so no matter what the Fed is doing, the company would do, good either way. And then also, too, if the inflation goes out of hand, Ryan Cohen has already cut the fat out already. And so we are prepared for every case scenario that there is, in my opinion, anyway. So, yeah. So I think, I'm not worried about this company. The only thing I'm worried about is accumulate as many shares as possible before the run, before I couldn't buy at, whatever, $250 or whatever, right? So one share at a time and all that stuff. But to me, I'm trying to maximize my, Roth IRA so that it's a long-term thing. I don't care about the price action too much. As far as my trading account, I trade some other stuff. I think today SoFi went up as well, pretty high. Kind of my prediction too is that they're gonna try to run it up with GameStop. And if you take a look at it, it's just straight up, right? So it's been set up already where, they had a call wall option to $14 right here. I think somebody bought a whole bunch of calls up here for SoFi, perhaps to prepare for today. I think somebody knew ahead of time that the Fed was going to do this. And, the big institution out there, you think they didn't know about that? Of course they do. They do know ahead of time, and that's why they position themselves. You see a lot of call option for GameStop as well, kind of. Hold on, let me find it. like somebody put it on here. Sorry guys, I should have had it up. Maybe I had it up over there. Oh, right here. So I guess there was a call for December 20th of this year. Somebody picked up the, hold on, 27. No, that's the interest. Which one is a strike price? Hold on. So hard for me to read here. So over 23,000 GME December 27 cents traded hand, buyer accumulating, started a few. Great decision. So yeah, it looks like somebody bought a whole bunch of calls at the asking price for 22. So it could be, institution, or it could be retail investor trying to get ahead of today's decision. Perhaps they're predicting that the price is going to go higher. I don't know. Again, call option, they always say, it doesn't move the market, it doesn't affect the price and all that stuff. It does, especially if the market maker are there to kind of like manipulate the price up and down in order to create that max pain level to where, the sweet spot to where they're making the most money and retail lose the most money. That's why it's called max pain. The pain is to retail investors who buy call option in hopes that, you get a price surge. Again, like to me, those you might get lucky. You might get lucky and get a 10x and whatnot. Ray, I think Nintendo Switch 2 will be the best seller console ever coming out, probably summer. Okay, summer. I'm not aware of those gadgets, so Nintendo Switch 2. So right now it's just one Nintendo Switch. I have a friend who have a Nintendo Switch, but she loves it, She loves to play those Animal Crossing, they call it. I'm not into Switch. I'm a PC gamer. So, but yeah, people were speculating that, remember yesterday, Citadel borrowed $400 million or something from Bank of America, perhaps to try to kind of set up for what is to come today. So maybe they think that GameStop's going to go up, or going to allow GameStop to run for a little bit. Who knows, right? So that's that. That's what I saw. I mean, price action. Again, price action is price action. I'm looking at the next resistance right here. I know like this one, it's kind of like anomaly here. The reason why I stop here is because the other price action right here. So right now it's around 18. Let's see. Right here. 1859 or so. So that's the next resistance. Will it just go through that, like straight up? That's remained to be seen. But I wonder what the max pain today is, though. If anybody knows. I'll look it up later. Okay, so I was gonna show you the dot plot here. So what the dot plot is, it's just what the Fed, for those of you who doesn't know, it's just the Fed I guess a projection of what's going to be the rates for years to come, right? So if you look at here, they've been staying steady at around 5% right here, less than 5% for a long time, right? They have not raised the rate yet. But before all of this coming, right, before today, last meeting, they were promising that they're going to raise one more 25 basis point, right? And so the market has been up, like it's enthusiastically, already predicted that the Fed was going to do this. So everything that you say today, up until today, it's already priced in, so to speak. But the news is going to keep pumping it. And so that's why be careful, right? When they pump you, oh, it's over, rate cut is good for the economy. Remember, when they were raising rate, it's bad for the economy, but the stock market keep going up, right? And again, they're doing that to, it's kind of like leaning forward already. So it's already priced in all the good news, all of the rate cuts, all of the whatever. So when they actually starting to cut rates, that's usually mean that there's something amiss is going to happen, right? It's actually the opposite of what you would expect. But again, none of this really affect GameStop because GameStop has cash reserve, right? It's only for those people who does not have cash. For those people who are over leveraging themselves, just like AMC, yes, lower rate is good for those type of company, but when you cut rates, usually the economy has already been damaging to the point where they have to cut or it's going to blow up, right? So we have not experiencing that yet. We have not seen the unemployment rate going up 10%, 15% yet. So it's coming though. That's why they have to cut it to kind of mitigate that a little bit, but I don't know if it's enough even, right? It might be too late already. And then, so it looks like next year it's going to be around 3 to 4 cuts. Currently they are aiming for 3 cuts. So it depends on what the data is. It's going to stay at around 4% right there. So that's good. And then, again, this doesn't affect GameStop whatsoever because we have our own money already. So that's that. It might affect, the marketable security a little bit. Whether we still have marketable security or increase a little bit more just to capture that 4% there. That's remained to be seen. But I was watching Rebel Capitalist right here. I forgot his name, George something. But he's pretty, informed and all about that. And let's kind of listen in a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing, so we'll see what he said here. I haven't watched this whole thing yet, so.
Urgency update here on what's happening right now in the bond market that is signaling, whatever you want to call it, crisis, disaster, collapse, hard landing. It's definitely not signaling a soft landing, I can tell you that. This is an unprecedented move. The 2-year Treasury yield today is down by almost 40 points, 40 basis points. I mean, this is absolutely massive. So let's go over to CNBC and check out what caused this move, but more so kind of connect the dots on what these bond yields are telling us about what we should expect in 2024 and how the stock market is completely and totally misreading this. So let's start right here. If you didn't hear the news, the Fed kept rates steady. But what was amazing is they indicated that there will likely, this is according to the Federal Reserve, there'll likely be 3 rate cuts coming in 2024. Now, these are 25 basis point cuts. I think there'll be a lot more than that. But this is huge that the Fed is actually acknowledging that, yeah, we're most likely going to cut. So this would be considered very dovish, which is one of the main reasons why the 10-year Treasury yield tanked. And I say one of the main reasons, because I think the biggest reason is because what the bond market is signaling is not necessarily that the Fed's going to cut rates. It's signaling why the Fed is going to cut rates. I think the bond market, if you look at the inversion, has been signaling that we're going to have this hard landing, that the economy is slowing down, that the economy is very unhealthy right now. And that all of a sudden, what it got today was just confirmation that the Fed sees the exact same thing. So I think, in my opinion, and take it for what it's worth, I've never taken an econ class, never taken a finance class, I almost flunked out of high school. In my opinion, these are the dynamics that are at play with this price action that we see in the bond market right now. In other words, prices skyrocketing and yields going down. Well, if you believe that the yields are a reflection of future growth and inflation expectations, what this move is telling you is that we are headed straight for a hard landing. In other words, a lot less growth, maybe even a contraction, and a lot less inflation, disinflation, maybe even deflation headed into 2024, just like we saw in 2009.
George, now the market is pricing in 130 basis points of rate cuts by the end of 2024 too. So that's over 5 rate cuts. The market is just insane.
Right. So let's look at what happened in the stock market. That stocks on the Dow closed at record high, because again, everyone is interpreting this as though, oh, hey, this is bullish. We know that when the Fed drops rates, we know that low interest rates are good for the stock market. So let's just get ahead of this and buy stocks. I mean, look, I don't make any I try not to make predictions on this channel. What I try to do is just educate you on how the system works and then point out risks that you don't hear about in the mainstream media, financial media, or even on financial Twitter. But in my opinion, and the market is totally misreading this, totally. And my goodness gracious, talk about just living life with rose-colored glasses. Jeez. But why do I say that? Is that just because I'm always bearish and I'm fear-mongering or whatever? No, let's go into that, because that's very important. That my opinions are backed up by data. So not just, I think it's going to be like, okay, well, why do you think that? Based on history, based on facts, based on charts, based on data. How are you coming to those conclusions that my base case has a low probability of coming to fruition? Especially, and obviously this is anecdotal, but before we get into that chart that proves my point, I would also like to highlight that if you disagree with me, you agree with none other than Jim Cramer, who in the title of this article, we're not going to click on it, but you can see Jim Cramer dismisses recession fears.
So when Jim Cramer dismisses anything, you've got to take a look at the fear of recession, right? So this guy is notorious, obviously, for, predicting or telling people to do the wrong thing all the time, right? And in a very important moment as well, too. And of course, I'm sure he's going to say that GameStop is this and that, GameStop is bad or whatever, right? At one point in time, right? But so Rebel Capitalist is pretty knowledgeable about stuff like that. I'm watching that as well, Ray. I know, like, that's funny. So I mean, just from that segment alone, I think that the dot plot, even though the rate's going to be lower, so that means the price of housing might go back up again and making it even more unaffordable at the current rate, because whoever has the money to jump in to buy into a home will be locked at a rate of 2%, but the house is $2 million, right? An average house is $2 million. So that's why it's such a dangerous point in history. And that's why I think the Fed is kind of like hurry to cut the rate. Perhaps something else big is going to happen, because either the wages does not kept up with the inflation, or a massive layoff is going to ensue in the coming year. So I think right now, I think the market is just too euphoric. Not GameStop, obviously. GameStop's been down for like a whole year, like people making fun of GameStop being down for 40%, right? But I think the market cap of GameStop would have to go up substantially for them to become like scared, so to speak. But as far as like the fundamental, I think the company will squeeze fundamentally eventually anyway. So it really doesn't matter if you're long in this company. None of this Fed rate hike, Fed cuts, and all that stuff really matter. Again, because we have cash on hand to deal with all of those economic downturn or even the economic expansion when we need to. Either way, it's good for us, I think. Now I'm gonna speak a little bit about this. Hold on, let me turn this off real quick. So, of course, with the rate cut, Bitcoin kind of rally with that as well. And if you look at my chart, hold on one second. I think I have Bitcoin here. So, my prediction is that they're gonna try to rally it up to here, maybe a little bit higher, to try to fake people up a little bit, and then they're gonna try to wean it down over time, fade it in, right? Now remember, all these institution was accumulating down here, okay? And this is a classic thing that they do to try to kind of scare people. Like around here, they were telling people to sell, right? Oh, this and that, the fear, the FTX, and all of those, negative news about Bitcoin, even crypto and all that stuff. All of the Luna stuff began over here at this point. FTX around here, and now that they already accumulated it, they've been pumping it up. Even now, good news about Bitcoin and all that stuff too. So just be aware of that type of manipulation. They're going to try to say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to the moon, over $100,000 again, that narrative coming up again, right? But eventually it will. I'm not saying it won't, but I think that I think the cycle is right here. And it's mathematical. With Bitcoin, it's kind of weird to why it follow it to the T. Even the last cycle over here too, you could kind of trace it back to that point. Every single 4 year, it seems to have that effect, right? So my opinion is that it's gonna do the same thing. It might look a little bit different, just like how the top, the all-time high here look a little bit different than this one. And so it could be one of these where, they poke it up, trying to fake people, come back in, and then boom again, right? That's just my intuition is telling me from being in crypto for a long time. Now, the best time was last year when you buy into it, right there. And then right now, I would take some profit. Not financial advice, but that's what I would do. And then when this kind of starting to come down, what usually happens is the other altcoins going to start running with it as well. So ETH, I don't know. Again, I don't have a price target here, but ETH usually run faster after the dominance of Bitcoin goes down from that. but it remains to be seen. I'm sure it's going to reach close to $50,000, and the mainstream media is going to try to say, oh, it's going to $100,000 again, and da 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 da, and it's not. So just be aware of that. Now, the cycle as well too, if you want to play this, is to buy. So all of the other altcoin except ETH, after ETH run, usually the other stuff runs with it as well. Or after that, kind of soon after that, right? You could kind of start to see that here. Even ADA here starting to break off from ETH a little bit here. They're used to follow each other pretty closely. I think it's like due to the maturity of the network as well. ADA was Cardano, right? If you don't know anything about that one. There's a different network here that competes for that space. And then, of course, Loopring. If you look at Loopring, I'm sure it's going to run with it as well. Mutable X, all of that. So let's take a look at Loopring. So Loopring is a little bit slow. The reason why I like Loopring is because of the supply, see, versus the max supply. So in my opinion, there's less dilution coming out of the network because it's already been diluted, right? If you look at from here to here, do that math, how many percentage already out? And it seems like it's a fixed supply, so there's no more being created from the network itself. So whatever's in that, it's already been in it. In 1,000,000,006 divided by, I'm trying to find the percentage of that. So 96.8% of it already been out in circulation. So there's only a 3% inflation, so to speak. Now I don't know who owned that 3%. Perhaps it's the network itself or the mining, the reward program and all that stuff. But from what I heard about this one, the founder doesn't even hold anything, right? Again, I'm speculating because I have not looked into it as thorough, right? All I'm seeing is that the max supply, the supply is like, it's already in circulation. So there's no dilution whatsoever, so to speak. Like AMC, good grief. All right, how's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining, you guys. Just me babbling about crypto here. And then Immutable X, of course, we have those kind of close to Gamestop relation. Of course, it ran pretty hot, and it's just coming down, consolidating, and I'm sure, it's going to run along with other coin as well, once, I was going to say GameStop. When Bitcoins run to its max, and then people taking profit, usually they jump into ETH, and then the next would be the other altcoins. So I'm waiting for that run for Loopring. I do own quite a bit of Loopring since the last time. I've been long-term holding that coin for a long time since GameStop has been kind of partner up with it. I don't have Immutable X, kind of regretting that now. I'm seeing the price, but that's neither here nor there. I have some XRP, as I said before, still holding it for a long term. I still think there's a lot of utility for that particular coin, even though there's some obstacle when it comes to like regulation, lawsuits, and all that stuff. But I think there's a reason why they sue XRP. I think it's just to give ETH a little bit more of the dominance, right? Because again, like the people that stand to benefit the most benefit from ETH being high. And I'm sure they're trying to sell it to the public and let the public hold the back at a very high price, right? And then they're gonna try to jump into other kind of cheaper coin for people who are, you know, aware of those type of manipulation too, right? What's the other one? And of course, they're gonna use the SEC to go after anyone, you know, competition wise. But I think because XRP has such a kind of important utility angle, I don't think they're gonna ban it outright. I think they're just gonna try to delay it as long as possible so that, you know, they could set themselves up for that run as well when it happened. Again, they try to shake retail off, right? Retail usually is the one that gets scared and they don't have enough conviction. They don't have enough time. They don't have enough patience. And that's why I think, you know, with Gamestop here, I learned that patience is the key. And then buy when everybody are, you know, running to the other door and tell you not to buy into this company, right? Same thing. Same BS. Nothing new here. All right. Let's see. What else do I have in store? Honestly, I don't have anything much. You know, I was watching this. This is pretty cool. Let's watch this. That's kind of scary too, though. Like now you have like robots that do all this. And that's crazy. Look at that. Even hold the egg. So technically they could cook for you. I think we're, as a human race, dancing too. Man, I think we're doomed. As a human race, we are doomed, you guys. Not joking whatsoever. All right, guys, that's all I have for this one. I appreciate all of you for joining in, and appreciate Ray over here. Appreciate, I don't see Lionel, but Migo, appreciate you commenting there. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, you know, GameStop's going to be a lot better. Or a lot better. A lot higher. No, I'm actually secretly wishing that it's staying low for a while until I get money to accumulate more. All right, guys, that's all I have. Okay.